Welcome back to Dream Wrench. A year ago, I bought this bone stock 2002 WRX Wagon with 112,000 miles on it. I now have 124,000 miles on it. That's 1,000 miles a month, and I love this car. I couldn't be happier. Did I say you get a turbo already? For not a lot of money, you get a turbocharged car. I wouldn't call this car fast, but I would call it fun. This car is perfect for rallycross. Some people complain about the suspension being too soft, and I agree. On the street, there's way too much body roll. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and not say that the soft suspension is a bad thing. I'm just gonna say it's well set up for rallycross and driving off-road. Basically, you take it to rallycross, you get some snow tires, you disconnect the front sway bar, you pull the ABS fuse, and you're ready to rip in the stock class. If you want to drive it on the street spiritedly, put some swift lowering springs on it and get some sway bars. I'm going to do both of those things because I'm in the process now of setting this car up to just be the ultimate daily driver. Am I going to find a different car for rallycross and just make this the best street car that I possibly can? Which I'm super excited about. I've been planning it for a year. I got a bunch of parts I've been stashing away. If you guys want to follow along, subscribe to the channel, check it out. We're going to have a fun journey playing with this car. There are a lot of pros to owning this car. Affordability. You can get into these for around $5,000, and if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get something in really good condition. These are attainable now. There is a huge Subaru community. When you own a Subaru, you have a vast wealth of knowledge online. Modability. These cars are heavily moddable. There are so many aftermarket parts and so much information out there. Just picking up parts on Craigslist, I've met a number of people that have been so helpful. It's been a pleasure dealing with the Subaru community. You get the Subi Wave. It's just nice. You get bolster seats and a Momo steering wheel straight from the factory. It really adds to the sporty feel of the car. The seat really holds you in, and especially at rallycross, it was really beneficial having these bolsters. The steering wheel. It's a Momo steering wheel with the Momo logo right in the middle. It looks sick. And because it's from the factory, it has an airbag, which for me, because this is my daily driver, I like having the airbag. Also, further down the road, if I want to upgrade, I can pick up an STI wheel that's a little bit smaller in diameter and still has an airbag. The WRX comes with a wagon option, which is great. If you know my channel, you know I'm building a 1967 Volkswagen Squareback, and I constantly need to haul parts for that car. And with the Subaru, I just fold down the seats, throw down a tarp, and I can put anything I want back there. When you drive a Subaru, it makes you look like you might be an active person. You think like that person could maybe be going to do some rock climbing. Owning a Subaru really says something about your personality. The car is older. Cosmetically, it has some issues. And yeah, you know, it would be nice if it was in better shape, but I don't have to worry about this car. Within a few weeks of owning this car, I took it to O'Reilly's, and the parking lot was like really packed. I had to park next to a truck, and when I came out, there was a ding in the door. It wasn't the end of the world. I wasn't pulling out my hair. You know, it's a good daily driver. My mouth is so dry right now. I have the windows up and no AC on because of the audio. And like, I don't smoke or anything. The cons. Before I even get into the cons, I just want to be clear that most of these things don't bother me. I think I had my expectations in the right spot when I bought this car. It's a 2002 import. It's a sporty import, but it's not a BMW or a Mercedes. There's certain things I wouldn't complain about. So, that being said, yes, the interior is cheap. It has cheap plastics. It doesn't feel like a super high quality, luxurious interior, but I'm okay with that. I kind of like this interior. You can tell they didn't do a ton of sound deadening in this car. You can hear a lot of road noise, and I appreciate that. I think that's fitting for this car. The seatbelt's a little bit squeaky, but again, this is an old car now. It's not that big of a deal. The radio, the sound system isn't the best. It's not a Bose sound system. If you're someone that's into sound systems, you're going to be upgrading that yourself anyways. Valve cover gaskets and spark plugs. Yes, they are harder to change on this car. All I did was go on the forums and I tackled it at home. It wasn't that big of a deal. Maintenance. These cars get a bad rap for being a lot of work to maintain, but I think if you look at any turbocharged four-wheel drive car, you're going to have the same issues. You just have more parts, you have more hoses, you have more points of failure, but for me, I feel like I've just done the maintenance on this car, and so far I've been okay. And most people I talk to that take really good care of their car seem to say the same thing. They just said keep up on the maintenance and it's going to treat you right. Not that things don't happen, but yep, she's a smoker. From the factory, this car came with 227 horsepower, 3,165 pounds. I believe it gets 20 city, 27 highway. Cool thing about the 2002, it came with a lightweight flywheel stock, something that was changed in 2003. And also it has a better ECU than the later Blob-Eye models because the Bug-Eye ECU can react quickly to changing air-fuel ratios, whereas by 2004 the EPA mandated that they changed that for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why they did, but the STIs were able to keep the better, cool ECU. If you're putting an intake on your O2, it's a little bit safer than 04 and on WRXs, but still I'm sure everyone recommends getting a tune anyways, which I'm going to do because I'm going to put an intake on the car and I'm going to get it tuned appropriately. But just a cool little bit of info that I thought was pretty neat. What have I done to the car? Like I said, it is bone stock still for 1 year, but I've done a ton of maintenance. When I bought this car, I took it to my local Subaru mechanic and they wrote a long list of all the things that they recommended doing. So this past year I've done valve cover gaskets, spark plugs, timing belt, radiator, water pump, steering rack bushing. I did a CV boot, and then all the basic stuff. I've done multiple oil changes. Oh, I did all 4 struts. Honestly, the car feels really good. It feels solid. There isn't anything that's bugging me about the car. I have not done the head gaskets yet, and that's a notorious thing on these cars, are the head gaskets. To my knowledge, they haven't been done yet, so I'm kind of just waiting for the day that I need to do them. I'm at 124,000 miles right now, so I'm just assuming that at some point I'm going to need to do the head gaskets, but it's not the end of the world. For me, it's worth it. So to be fair, that is the biggest problem with these Subarus that they're notorious for, is that, the head gaskets fail from time to time. And basically, I think everyone needs to do it if they're driving their car, 150,000 miles. It's going to need to be done at some point. I have heard of a few cases where people didn't need to do it, but, I think you just have to be okay with that. For me, it's worth it. I love the car, so I'm going to deal with it. Thanks for watching. If you want to follow the WRX build, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're going to be doing a full Stage 2 build out and a bunch of other goodies, including getting a Pro Tune. It's going to be awesome. I also have the 1967 Volkswagen Squareback build already in progress. Let me know what wheels you want to see in the WRX. I still haven't chosen what wheels need to go on there, so maybe you guys can help me out with that. As always, be safe, I believe in you, get to wrenching. Peace.